So I'm inside the little shelter. It's not complete. This is just an update. And as you can see, I've been using bamboo, twine, and dental floss as an experiment to see how long this is going to last. I predict that it'll probably stay up for a few months, if not longer. But I'm still adding some pieces here. And so I'm cutting down small saplings, mostly pine and other evergreen, and I'm just tethering them to these bamboo pieces. And the old kind of like lean-to shelter here is going to be totally revamped. So I'm just working on today just a small fire pit here. I kind of tore my hands up a little bit with these evergreen. Even though I had my gloves on, when I took them off to do the actual tethering to my walls, some of the needles got me pretty good. So I have some different areas on my hands that aren't so pleasant. But what I was going to tell you though, I was kind of digging to place these poles in the ground so that it's strong. And when I was digging to put these foundational pieces down, I ran into this rock. At least I think it's a rock. I don't think it's a petrified piece of shell or anything. It looks like it's actually some type of limestone. But look how odd it is. It comes out to almost like a point, and it's very has a lot of curve to it. It's very organic looking, but this was just buried about a foot under, and it was just sitting there. And I'm like, wow. At first, I didn't know what to think of it because it looks just like plaster, but it's definitely not. So I don't see any other markings like, someone actually carved this or anything, but I thought that was kind of interesting. And so over time, I'm going to continue to build on this shelter. I may take a few days off to let my hands heal a little bit, and we'll continue on. So this is kind of the inside look, looking out the door, and this wall is getting pretty close from being done. I just need to tether this piece here and fill in this gap. I'm going to take all this off. I'm going to tarp this, the main sleeping area. And I'm not so sure if I'm going to build up this anymore, the fire pit. I don't know if I need a reflector or not. I'll have to see. But I'll have a nice wind guard once I get all the walls up. And so the hardest part, though, really is just getting these saplings and moving them to my location. Because the place that I'm harvesting them is quite a bit of a ways, and I have to actually drag them. Just logistically, that's just how it is. And so, yeah, so let's go ahead and just take a quicker look here. Now, this twine that I'm using to have the door, kind of making this like a hinge. I just did it real nice and loose, so there's a little bit of play. And it may look a little sloppy, because it probably is. But I have different knots. Most of them are square knots. I do have some lattice knots, the constrictor knots, all these kind of knots mixed in. And I will have to say that the dental floss, especially if you can do 2, 3, even 4 wrappings with it, or 4 layers, it seems really strong. And so most dental floss, to my knowledge, is made out of nylon. And so I would definitely use it over, any type of twine. Jute twine is very weak, and I think you probably should just reserve that in your kits for tender. And so, yep. And so it's pretty fun. This is a fun project. I normally don't do this kind of shelter, totally enclosed. Even the roof will have cross beams, as I'm already starting here, and so. I'm not going to totally enclose the roof because I need to have a way for the smoke to get out. But it'll be pretty neat when I get done with this for sure. So yeah, so I'm just going to tarp this backside here, and I'm going to probably just take this debris here, move it down to hold down part of the tarp on the bottom, even though I'll have it staked, and maybe use some of this on the sides just to enclose it on the sleeping area. And I'll probably not do a raised bed. I was thinking about maybe doing that, but I don't think I'm going to be camping here a lot. This isn't that far from my house, this particular location. So it's kind of, I don't know. I'm not saying that I won't camp out here, but I'm thinking about having maybe a chair, like a folding chair here, and then maybe like a couple contractor bags full of leaves. So if I do want to spend the night, I can just sleep on those bags of leaves of insulation, then put my my actual sleeping bag mat down and sleep on that, and that should be fine. And so overall, though, it's coming together quite well. Let me show you from a different angle. Okay, now we're on the outside looking in on the opposite side of the door. So there's the door right here, as you can see. And so I just wanted to show you that this particular side of the wall, if you want to call it, is about a little over 6 foot tall. It's about 6'3", and it has a cross beam. And I'm going to put more possibly across there, and then one going the opposite way so that I can actually hang an actual, I don't know if it's going to be cording or maybe chain or some kind of metal cable, whatever I can find, and then drop it down so that I can hook maybe like a pot or something I can cook on over the fire. On this particular host side, though, what I would call the left flank, everything is attached with dental floss. It's a very thin nylon dental floss, but I try to wrap it multiple times. And as you can see here, this is a square knot. And some are done better than others. Some of them got a little sloppy. I did try to bury these particular posts in the ground. I got this one about 14 inches, and then I hit bedrock. This one I got about 12 inches, that one about 8, and they're all different. But basically there's a lot of rock under this, not too far down. So I was able to scavenge these rocks in the local area, not much more than about 100 yards from this location for the fire pit. I may have to build that up as more as time goes on as well. And as you can see from this angle here, there's enough room not only just for sleeping, but I could put firewood on the side. And so yeah, this is just an update. And if you have any ideas or thoughts, I'd be happy to hear them. But this is just more for me, for fun, and to get more practice before I build my permanent shelter deep in the woods. This location is very close to my house, so it's really not a problem coming out here and working on it a little bit every day. And so I predict that I'll probably have anywhere from 3 to 4 more videos until this is finished. So off and on, I'm going to work on it. Whenever I feel like I have enough material to make a video, I'll put it up. So this is what it looks like. If you're asking me, well, why are you putting up walls and all this? Well, for one, I'm just trying to see the limitations of the actual material. Not so much the bamboo. I know that's going to last a long time, but the jute twine and the dental floss, I'm just curious about how long they will last before they actually break down. I also am kind of curious about what kind of level of security that this could give me. For example, I have a lot of critters that run around at night, including wolves, fox. In particular, though, the coyotes are the worst. And then there's also puma and bear where I live. So I'm not saying that this will actually keep them out, but it could slow them down. And that's why I'm thinking also on this lower section here, doing another cross beam, if not maybe 2 more, and then doing cross hatching. I don't know if I want to go through all that hassle to do that, but it's kind of something I'm thinking about doing, just because that would be probably the first point that they will try to breach. And so I'm just trying to make it so there's a little bit more of a barrier between me and them if I ever do think about camping out here. Most of the time I think I'm just going to hang out, you know, and just maybe make a fire, maybe do a video. If I have a friend over, we can just hang out here. And then, of course, just overall, it's just fun to build. So, hey, this is just an update. Thanks for all your support over the past many months. And I hope you enjoyed the series. Thanks for watching.